Up first is Chapter 7. Meditation resembles self-hypnosis because the person relaxes the body and concentrates attention. In meditation, a person directs their attention to some simple object or process in order to empty the mind. They show many physiological changes, including reduced heart rate and breathing rate, as well as increased alpha rhythms in the EEG, indicating relaxation. It is beneficial to your health, but they don't know if it is because of mental processes or because of the result of the body relaxation that provides the benefit. Psychoactive drugs are drugs that alter mental function, affecting consciousness. They affect neurotransmitter communication in the brain. Some drugs are antagonists, which act like neurotransmitters on the receptor. Others are agonists that interfere with neurotransmitter reaching the receptor, and others are neuromodulators, which either boost or inhibit neurotransmitter signaling. Drugs can be classified by their general effects on mental activity. First is depressants. Depressants are drugs that tend to slow down mental processes and behavior. They typically act as neuromodulators to boost GABA receptors' responsiveness. The first and most common depressant is alcohol. It is a neuromodulator that increases the responsiveness of GABA receptors. Next is barbiturates. It is just a class of depressant drugs. Anesthesia is a drug-induced loss of consciousness. And a tranquilizer is a depressant that typically makes people feel less anxious. The next class of drugs is stimulants. Stimulants increase neural activity, mental activity, and behavior. Most of them act as neurotransmitters to boost catecholamine signaling. The first stimulant is nicotine. This is found in tobacco, and it acts as an agonist at many acetylcholine receptors. Caffeine is the next stimulant, which is found in many beverages, including coffee, tea, and soda. Amphetamines are powerful stimulants that increase the release of catecholamine neurotransmitters. Cocaine is a stimulant extracted from the leaves of the coca plant. The next class of drugs is the opiates. They produce euphoria and analgesia by acting as agonists at endogenous opioid receptors. The first opiate is morphine, which is a major active substance in opium, and it has many pain-killing properties. Analgesic is a substance that acts as a painkiller. Amphetamines are powerful stimulants that increase the release of catecholamine neurotransmitters. Cocaine is the stimulant extracted from the leaves of the coca plant. Opiates produce euphoria and analgesia by acting as agonists on endogenous opioid receptors. Morphine is a major active substance in opium and has pain-killing properties. Analgesic is a substance that acts as a painkiller. Heroin is a chemically altered form of morphine that is even more powerful and addictive. Endogenous opiates are a class of neurotransmitters found in the brain, including endorphins. Opioid receptors are a receptor that responds to an endogenous and or exogenous opiate. Hallucinogens have a wide variety of neural mechanisms, but all distort sensory perceptions. Lysergic acid diethylamide, or LSD, is also called acid. It is a hallucinogen that tends to alter or distort visual experiences. Mescaline, which is also called peyote, is a hallucinogenic drug that affects visual experience by way of neural systems that use norepinephrine as a neurotransmitter. Psilocybin, which is also called the magic mushrooms, is a hallucinogenic drug that affects visual experiences. Phencyclidine, or PCP, which is also called angel dust, is a drug developed as a potent analgesic and anesthetic agent. A dissociative drug is a drug that produces feelings of depersonalization and detachment from reality. Ecstasy, which is MDMA, is a hallucinogenic amphetamine. Marijuana is a drug obtained from the cannabis sativa plant. which is generally ingested via smoking. Use during adolescence may increase the chance of developing schizophrenia by adulthood. THC, or delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, is a major active ingredient in the marijuana. Cannabinoids are naturally occurring neurotransmitters that normally stimulate the receptors that respond to THC in marijuana. Endocannabinoids are neurotransmitters that normally act on the receptors that are activated by marijuana and related drugs. Addiction, or the more formal word substance abuse disorder, is the repeated drug use despite problems caused by the drug. Withdrawal symptoms are unpleasant, but physical effects of ceasing drug use tend to reinforce addiction because only continued drug use can stop withdrawal symptoms. Repeated drug use reduces dopamine receptors in the nucleus accumbens, requiring the user to resort to larger doses of drugs to get the same high, but also reducing the ability of other behaviors such as eating and being with other people to provide pleasure. Now, Chapter 8. Edward Tolman demonstrated that rats show latent learning and that they can make a cognitive map of a maze, even if it's not motivated by a food reward. Latent learning is learning that occurs without being immediately apparent and often without reinforcement. Many animals show observational learning that occurs when one individual imitates the behavior of another individual. Social learning embraces instances where individuals, especially young people, learn to model the behavior of others. In Bandura's famous Bobo doll studies, children who observed an adult hitting a toy were much more likely to show similar aggressive behavior themselves when offered the Bobo doll. Insight is the sudden understanding of a problem that leads to a solution. Chimpanzees that are faced with problems are a good example of this because of how they arrange objects to access bananas.